There's a high possibility if you're watching this, you already know that God has a calling on your life. He's been trying to get you to accomplish some things, or he's trying to take you to another place in your life. And sometimes when God gives us things and it becomes too heavy for us, we don't want to do it. We've never seen it before, so we try to do away with it. But I want to encourage you, if you're listening to this moment, remember your why. There's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. So you have to remember your why, and you have to put that into action, because there's power behind the purpose. You'll never understand why you go through things until you look back on it. Someone once said that life can only be understood when you're moving forward and sometimes looking back. Because when you come out of it is when you look back and you understand exactly why God brought you through it. And so when you give purpose to your why, when you give power to your why, you're basically saying, I know what I'm doing and I have a reason for doing this. And though I may not be able to see it, there's a higher source that's helping me to get through this. When you look at your life today, if you were to go back to 2020, some of you didn't think that you would make it this far. You were afraid of the COVID pandemic. You were afraid of instabilities in your finances. You were afraid because you were losing people. But that still gave you a power for your purpose. Things that you don't like are some of the things that are needed to help you get to where you are. Some of the things that aggravated you and made you upset and made you uncomfortable and challenged your faith is some of the things that you need to get to this place. I believe that God causes disturbances in our lives to agitate us so that we can see exactly where the weak spaces of our faith lie. So if you're going through a season where you're like, I don't understand and I don't like this and I don't think this is going to work, keep going, because God is going to give you power behind your purpose. And then number 2, you have to learn how to sustain your why. Here it is. You cannot do everything yourself. You cannot build it, keep it, and share it all by yourself. You have to learn how to compartmentalize what your assignment is. Maybe your assignment is to build it, but not sustain it. Maybe your job is, after someone has built it, you sustain it. Maybe your job is to share what has been built and sustained. But whatever your why is, whatever you've been called to do, you need to ask God, give me the strategy to sustain where I've been planted. Too many people do too many things, and so then they get burnt out because they're doing what they're not called to do. Do what God has called you to do. I wanted to do more. Do what God called you to do. I would love to do what they're doing. Do what God has called you to do. Or what they're doing looks better than what I'm doing. Do what you've been called to do. One of the ways for you to sustain your why is to operate within your why. I remember countless times where I wanted to be and do what other people were being and doing, but the truth of the matter is that was not what God has called me to do, and that is the same for you. Do what you do, and God will give you sustaining power wherever you've been called to do it. Number 3, live out your why. One of the things that I have determined not to hear in my life is no. If you give me the word no, you're going to have to explain to me over and over again. It's like I just get dumb when somebody tells me no, because I understand that no is just a detour to a greater yes. So if I've been denied of something in this season, what I'll do is, because I understand why I'm doing it, and I know that God will never give me a why without giving me the power and the longevity to live it out. He's not going to give you vision for you to never see. No, when God trusts you with vision, it is your job to make that come to life. And so as I'm learning, sometimes the enemy will try to work demonically against you and tell you no and discourage you and to deter you. Don't allow for that deterrence to be your destination. God allowed for the children of Israel to go a different route because he knew that if they were to go into a certain battle, that would probably take them back. God has already designed your plan. He's already designed your path. He's already destined you for greatness. Your job is to live that out with courage. Your job is to live that out on your level. Your job is to maximize what God is giving you on the level that God has given you. So if you remember your why, you will know that God gives you power behind your purpose. When you remember your why, you will give God space to give you the strategy to sustain where you are and what you've been called to do. And then when you remember your why, it'll help you to live it out to the best of your ability. I pray that this blessed you. Until we talk later, do Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share it with somebody.